Hi everyone, welcome to our Apache Kafka series. Today we are talking about one of the most exciting technologies in our modern businesses, that is Apache Kafka. So let's try to simplify it in the most possible way. So today actually we will be covering what exactly is Apache Kafka and why it was created and its basic architecture and most importantly how it will be helpful in our real-time environments. Okay. So what is Apache Kafka? So Apache Kafka, it is an open source distributed event streaming platform. It was developed by LinkedIn. Okay, but currently it is a part of Apache Software Foundation. Um, so why it was introduced? So actually, LinkedIn faced many challenges in handling real-time data. Okay, so in order to overcome that, they introduced the topic called Kafka. So previously they were using databases, but they were not so effective in handling huge data, which has to be processed in real time. So in order to handle the huge data, they introduced this Kafka. Today, Kafka is widely used in e-commerce, financial services, IoTs, and many more other technologies. So its purpose is to move data between systems more reliably and quickly, and it has to be processing at a high scale as well. Okay, so let's see how it is helpful in real time. So let's consider Amazon as an example. Okay, okay. In Amazon, imagine a customer. Okay, we have a customer, so he searches for a laptop. Okay, he searches for a laptop in the Amazon site. So what exactly happens behind the scene? So actually Kafka streams this activity into multiple systems. For example, it will go into some recommendations they will feature based on our search, it will feature different products, means from different brands of laptops. For example, HP, Dell, Mac. So based on the so this will be recommended using Kafka. And then in case if you have searched something and you're not purchasing it, then actually it will store those data for creating the ads. Okay, whenever you open any of the thing, you will get the ads. Okay, so it will create the future ads, and it will also give insights. Okay, insights. So based on that insights, you can decide which laptop is best suitable for you. So all these things, all these things are happening in the real time. Okay, so all these real time things are processed using Kafka. Uh, okay, so let's see its basic architecture now. So if we see its basic architecture, actually it will have a producer. Okay, the producer is nothing but the thing which produces the data, and then we have topic. Okay, topic is nothing but it is a logical grouping for events. For example, if we are creating few messages, we are producing few messages. Those things will be created as topic. Okay, then we will have something called consumers. Okay, what this consumers does? So the consumers will subscribe to these topics and they will consume the data. And brokers are for saving the data. In case if you have to save the data for certain duration of time, then we will be using broker. Okay, and a group of brokers together, they form a cluster. Okay, so okay, let's see what exactly it is. Okay, so let's see an example. So for example, some data is produced. Okay, so some data is produced. So the produced data will be sent as topics. Okay, the data will be sent as topics, and then it will be consumed by consumers. It will be consumed by consumers. So Kafka will act as a road between the producer and consumer. So the data will be sent as topics between producer and consumer. Okay, so once the data is produced, it is delivered to the consumer. So we can have multiple consumers. Okay, we can have multiple consumers, this is consumer 1, consumer 2, and consumer 3. So all can read the data which is produced. Okay, so you have to subscribe. So based on that subscription, the data will be sent to all the consumers. Okay, so once the data is produced, it is directly sent to the consumers. In case if we want to save it, we can save it. Okay, how we can save it? We can save it in brokers. Okay, we will have something called brokers. So we will save the data in brokers. So we can define like how long the data has to be saved. For example, we can keep it for 2 days, 3 days, or and max up to 7 days. Okay. So we can deprecate these logs like based on duration, like 7 days, or else in case if it reaches certain size, we can delete that one as well. Okay. So and what is cluster? Um, Cluster is nothing but a group of brokers together form a cluster. Okay, so let's assume this one. So this is a cluster. Okay, so let's assume this is a cluster, and then we will have multiple brokers inside it. So we will have multiple brokers inside it. So what happens? So if you see the data is produced, where it will be produced? So the data will be produced, and then it will be sent as topics. Okay, topics, and then it will be consumed. So these are brokers: broker 1, broker 2, broker 3. Okay, and this is the cluster. So what happens? See, the data which is produced, it will be sent to the topics, and then it will be subscribed by consumers, and it will be sent. Meanwhile, the data will be saved in all these brokers. Okay, so for example, if data produced is A will be in this broker. In all three brokers, the data will be spread. Okay, and then whatever data we produce, those data, it will be saved in multiple brokers. Why it will be saved in multiple brokers? So that we will be having high availability. Even in case if one of the brokers goes down, and if the data is lost, we can be able to see the data in the second broker and the third broker. So this is the main advantage of brokers, so that the data will be persistent. So if you see, so actually we have producer which sends the data, and then we have the topic which collects the data and sends it as a topic, and then we have the consumer which consumes the data. Okay, and then broker is for storing the server data, and then cluster, it is like a group of brokers. Okay, so this is the main concept. Also, we have something called zookeeper. Okay, so we will have something called zookeeper. Zookeeper. So this will be zookeeper 1, zookeeper 2, zookeeper 3. So what exactly this zookeeper does? So this zookeeper helps to manage these Kafka brokers. For example, we have these brokers. So actually only one broker, it will be the leader. Okay, other brokers will be followers. Okay, so in case if some broker is down, and if the leader is no more available, then actually it has to do the elections. Okay, so this election means this leader elections will be taken care by these zookeepers. Okay, But the thing is, with the recent versions, actually they are removing Zookeeper. They are removing Zookeeper, and they are going towards craft mode. Okay. Let's see these things in the future sections. So for now, you guys try to understand like what exactly is producer. Producer is for producing the data, and the topic is for sending the data, uh, and then consumer is for consuming the data from topics, and then a broker, it is for storing the data, and a cluster, it is like group of brokers together, they form a cluster. Okay. Okay, now let's see how it will be used in the real time. Okay, so if you see here. So um, for example, we are placing an order. Okay, we are placing an order. We are placing an order. So for order, actually, we will have an order ID created. Okay, let's consider it as 1 2 3 4 5 as the order ID, and then actually it will create a topic. Okay, it will create a topic. Um, for the order, like we can keep it as order event. We have an order, so order will create an event that will be like topic. So what will be the status? For example, it is like, for example, in case if we order a laptop, okay, it will be in the status of processing. Then actually this Kafka brokers store this event and replicate among different brokers. So once this topic is there, then this data will be saved into broker. So it will be saved in the leader broker. Okay, but this will be replicated. This will be replicated to broker 2 as well. Broker 2, and then it will be replicated to broker 3 in case if you have 3 brokers. In case if you have more brokers, it will be replicated to those brokers as well. So the leader will get the topic event data, and then it will be replicated to different brokers as well. So once this is done, then this order, okay, this order will be processed. Where it will be processed, it will be going to the consumers. Okay, we will have consumer. So here we will have different systems. For example, we will have inventory system, and then we will have payment system, and then we will have shipping system. Okay, so what happens once we placed an order, means once we place the order, we are acting as a producer. Okay, once we place an order as a producer, it will create an ID. For example, it is 1 2 3 4 5, and then you are searching for a laptop. Okay, means you are ordering a laptop. It will create a topic. It will create an topic event, and then this data, it will be saved in a broker. Okay, and then this data will be replicated among other brokers as well, so that even something happens to this broker, the data will be available in broker 2 and broker 3. Meanwhile, we have something called Zookeeper. Okay, so in case if something happens to this broker 1, then broker 2 will do the elections, and it will make broker 2 or broker 3 as the leader. Okay, it will make any of these as leader, and then also meanwhile this topic will be sent to the consumer. Okay, consumers, we will have a consumer group. Okay, we will have a consumer group, and then we will have multiple consumers. Okay, and then consumers can be subscribed to the topics. So these consumers can subscribe to this topic. For example, we have 3 consumers like inventory system consumer, payment consumer, and shipping system consumer. They might have consumed to this topic, like to the order topic. So once the order is placed, the topic is created and backup, the order is saved and distributed among multiple brokers, and then based on the subscription, the consumer groups will have different consumers. These consumers like inventory, payment, and shipping. So all these are triggered. Why? Because if we order a laptop, we will have like 25 laptops in store. Okay, so inventory will have to know, like in case if you have ordered one, then inventory will be updated with for 24 laptops. And then what they have to do, like in case if they have to fill up the inventory, or else in case if you are ordering 20 laptops, only 5 more is left. In case if someone is ordering all these 5, the inventory will be empty. And then next customer who orders, they will show like no more laptop available, right? So meanwhile you have to update the inventory, like you have to restore the inventory with the new laptops, so that customers can purchase it. So meanwhile, once you place the order, he has to do the payment, right? So he can choose like COD, or else he can pay using any of the UPI payments, or else using cards. So these cards will trigger using these consumers, okay? And then once the payment is done, then it will be shipped. It will be shipped to the address of the producer, okay? So Kafka helps in processing all this. Okay, so everything is happening in real time. We are placing an order, and then we are going to the inventory, and then we are selecting the product, and we are doing the payment, and then we are shipping the system. So all these are happening in real time. So if everything is happening in real time, and also we are not the only customer. Okay, like us, it will be like millions of customers will be there. Also during like any sales like big billion day or prime days, the sales will be huge, right? The sales will be huge. So how they are managing these things? They are managing it using Kafka. So Kafka will be helpful in managing millions of transactions per second flawlessly with a high speed. Okay, so this is the main advantage of Kafka. um, okay guys, hope this is interesting. Let's see other concepts in the upcoming classes. Okay, thank you.